Welcome back, Supernatural Explorers. Here's part 2 of my 4-part coverage of the old ghost town of Pandemonium in the Tuscarora State Forest in Perry County, Pennsylvania. Next episode, I'm going there during the day to scope it out for my night visit. If you're just joining us, please go back an episode and listen to part 1. Otherwise, let's go right in. Hey, welcome back everyone to part 2 of Pandemonium. I just came up with a good gauge as to whether to do a show or not. I mean, what night to do a show. I realized this by the sound of my greeting, my hey, there's really a direct correlation to how much energy I have, it seems. So I re-listened to last night's show and I was like, I was a little tired when I started that. And I felt tired when I was doing it. So I realized this is, partially out of interest, partially probably, hopefully, entertainment as well. So I'll keep a check on my energy levels when I do the shows. And I could tell by this one already I have enough energy for the show. So I'm happy to be back for part 2. I just did part 1 last night. And why I'm doing part 2 so soon is because I have the opportunity to go to Pandemonium tomorrow day to scout it out. And I wanted to reconnect with the energy again before I went, because I'm trying to form relationships, get to know energies before I go, so that when I go, maybe, I don't think anybody can guarantee that magic will happen, but it seems reasonable theory that it might increase the activity that happens. That's my working theory. It's a little windy out tonight. You may hear that in the background. Otherwise, let's get right into it. Brief recap. Pandemonium, once a town, now a ghost town, with a graveyard in it, Pioneer Cemetery, within Tuscarora State Forest in Perry County, Pennsylvania. That entails supernatural activity there. This is my second night going in. I encountered 4 spirits last night, and just the general area itself I connected with. Tonight's a recheck to see where everyone's at before I go there tomorrow in person during the day. And then part 4 will be probably my first field experience, which should be interesting. Because again, I do my work from a distance. I'm usually home, comfortable, shoes off, warm. And I'm going to go out camping in quotes, because I'm going to sleep in my car. Maybe I'll get to the point when I expand my comfort zone, or I'm sleeping out in a tent. I'm definitely, no matter what happens, I'm bringing an air mattress. I am. That's going to be the way I roll. I don't think it makes the work any less if I do that. Hey, I mean, maybe everybody these days does bring a mattress to camping. Who knows? I'm making assumptions. Alright, let's get back into it. We're going to outline for the show. I'm going to feel the area itself, feel what it feels like. I'll try and remember what I said last night and how it compares. And then I'm going to visit with the spirit of the man that's alleged to have been buried outside the cemetery, whose spirit frequents there. And then Sadie, I think she said slave girl, so maybe she escaped slave girl, maybe coming up through some kind of underground railroad or something. Maybe I heard that. Accidentally shot. Alleged that her spirit roams around there as well. Well, I'm going to take away the alleged. I felt both the spirits, and I was visiting Pandemonium. So they're in some way still associated, in my opinion, with that area. And then I asked to be connected with the most powerful spirit entity that lives and or frequents there often. And I came across what I believe to be the Sasquatch energy that I encountered in the past and have past experiences with. So we're going to check all them 3. And if I remember, Sadie did have a spirit attached to her, and it did show some sign of recognition of what it was doing was wrong. So I'm going to One good turn deserves another. I'm going to check on that spirit as well and see what it's up to. If I remember, if I forget, I'm not going to lose sleep over it. Okay. Here we go. Let's go right into Pandemonium. I'm asking my spirit team to now connect me with Pandemonium, the area itself. I like the ending of the story already. I always check everything twice. You check it once, if it's off balance, and then it gets balanced. Then you go back and check it twice, and it remains balanced. It's pretty golden. It's good. It's better if I would have came back 3 days later, 7 days later, and it was still balanced, because then it's doing it on its own. If you ever been to an experience in your life that's uplifted you, I've been to experiences like that. Sometimes they'll stay with you a day or two. Some people report having experiences that stay with them for a month. So 7 days is like a better check. 3 days is 4 days. That's still a good check. But the day after, I'm glad the area feels balanced and good and calm. I'm going to have to go back another time. I won't do a show on it. Maybe I'll just mention it in another show briefly, that I went back to Pandemonium a third time, and this is where it was at. But right now, day 2, the area itself feels great, and it feels very pleasant, you could say. It feels like Pleasantville. I like it, yes. So the area itself feels great today. I'm very, very pleased indeed. Okay, I'm going to go back, say goodbye to the area, and then we'll go right on to our first friend. Our first friend of Pleasantville. That's right, that's what we were calling that gentleman. Our first friend of Pleasantville. Yes, I've renamed Pandemonium Pleasantville for this show. Here we go. First friend. Let's see how he's doing today. He's doing wonderful as well. I really like what I felt. Very subtle, slight imbalance. And I felt it around like the chest area. The rest of him feels pretty solid. Just a little on the heavy side, so not as light feeling. But balanced is always better than anything. Any other state, balance is key. But just a slight imbalance, and so it feels like he's learning how to balance himself on this higher vibration, which is how it works, everyone. If you think of things in terms of vibration, something happens, you learned a new truth or something like that, or experienced something that opened your mind more, and it levels you up on a vibration. Whether you realize it or not, that is what happens, and then you have to learn how to balance that new level of vibration. My most starkest example of the analogy metaphor for this is I always think of like child stars. If you get up to too many vibrations before you're ready, it can throw you off a bit. If I was the president of the Actors Guild, I don't even know if that's a real thing, like I would make it that all child stars have mandatory daily meditation. I guarantee that would help them adjust and adapt to such a crazy jump in vibratory status. That's got to be a lot to balance, I imagine. And adults aren't even equipped to balance that kind of stuff. I don't want to go off on too many tangents. Getting back to point, our first friend of Pleasantville feels very good. Definitely going to check on him a third time because I want to keep checking until I know he's golden. So he feels really good. Let's jump in. Yeah, this is going quick. So I don't know how long the shows are, as long as they are. But this one feels like it's going quick right now because everything feels good, which is great. Okay. Let's see how Sadie's doing. I've experienced energies like this before, spirits like this before, right? Probably even people like this before. We can tell where they're about to like blast off wherever they are. They're on the cusp of the next great thing. My wife Jen just started her Ayurvedic training. She's going to become, I believe it's called a consultant and then a practitioner, which in my mind to me is like as good as a doctor. And you can tell she just stepped into her dharma, her life's purpose. Second day of class, and I think she's like just glowing and beaming and immersing herself in new information on how not just to treat people, but how to heal people. Not just symptom management, but curing through foods and the understanding energy structures and herbs and lifestyles and the whole everything that you would reasonably think would matter to look at to help a person to heal, which I think is a perfect fit for her. So she's an example of a physical person who's blasting off, and Sadie feels like she's about to blast off on the spiritual level. I almost got the sense like she's hanging around to say goodbye, or came back to say goodbye, but that she's just ready to blast off again. So I'm going to say goodbye to Sadie. Let her blast off if that's what she wants to do, but she feels wonderful. And I'll be curious if people frequent Pleasantville/Pandemonium and they think they have connected with Sadie before, if you find her there as much, if she does indeed blast off, which she feels imminent. So I'm going to say goodbye to Sadie, and then we're going to go check on the spirit that was fond, well, it will be very polite, the spirit that was fond of Sadie and hanging around Sadie more than she wished, but then subtly recognized it as they were parting. Like, my bad. I don't want to give this spirit a derogatory name at all, or refer to it in a derogatory way. So we'll go in and say goodbye to Sadie and go check on this other spirit. Sadie's actively elevating, advancing, going onward and upward. She feels golden, very happy. So I'm not expecting to send Sadie at all when I go there tomorrow. I'll be glad if I do, but I'm not expecting to. So, and let's check on that spirit, that other spirit, the one that was fond of her. I give the spirit credit. Very low vibration, very low. You know what down or depressive emotions feel like within inside you? So imagine that. Very I don't want to say negative, but just weighty, pulling your energy down, less vibration, in a kind of depressed way, but balanced, very balanced. I'd say one of the keys, mentally, spiritually, emotionally, probably even physically, the law of nature and the universe, balance. So that this thing is, we got to be on the vibration we are, and I think I said this in another show. If you think of it as grades, it's not as higher and lower vibration as if lower is worse. If you think of them as grades, third graders aren't better than kindergartners, or they're not better than second graders. They're just in a different place. Yeah, they might know more, so they might be smarter, but it doesn't make them better. People who can balance where they are, then can play around more in where they are, feel more comfortable in where they are, and have a better experience, and people can experience them better where they are. So it's really not the vibration, the level of vibration anyone is at. It's not the grade per se that anyone is at. It's how they're balancing within where they are, and that's true for. I think that's true for anyone. So I give this guy's very low vibration. I don't know the spirit personally. I just know that my experience of it. My experience was being an energy suck on Sadie, and then didn't leave when it was given grace and love and peace and the truth to face, and it had to be removed, but in the last second, like, my bad, in a way that I know it recognized, because it took that to heart and now it's in a low vibration, which I think it's, I'm not the judge of the universe. It feels lower than I would imagine this thing deserved. But you go where you can bounce the most. That's what plane you're on of existence. That's where you exist, where you can bounce the most. This spirit must be like a kindergarten level spirit, and that's where it is. That's just, it's level, no judgment, but in that it feels very balanced, but slightly uncomfortable for me to experience because of the depressive nature of it. So, but I will say, considering how we came across the spirit, I think the spirit's doing really well. Really well. I hope to remember, if I do a recheck of everyone, to check the spirit as well. Because in elevating anything, we elevate everything more, and we're all a part of everything. So I don't want to get too preachy. I can't help it. All this stuff just comes to me. And this is about the supernatural, which is spiritual / paranormal to me. So the spiritual's going to creep in. It has to. Everything is related. So, but I'm very excited because now I'm about to go meet with what I'm calling the Sasquatch spirit. That this is maybe, I haven't added in a while, maybe my 6th time meeting on a spiritual level with the spirit. So we're really getting to know each other. And then when I go tomorrow, I hope I hear, I don't care if it's one wood knock, I'll be ecstatic. I don't care if it's one odd sound that I don't understand, I'll be thrilled. And I will record. I understand that they're cool at recording. Obviously I'm going to merge with this spirit now, so I'm going to ask it, we cool? I know not to videotape. I would not videotape unless I became so cool with this population that I got an invite to do so, because I know they don't like it, and so it's disrespectful. So, but I'm going to ask if it's cool to record. I wouldn't even ask about the videotape because I think that's rude to ask. If you know something bothers someone, you don't ask them. That seems like etiquette. So let's go in. I want to think of a name for this Sasquatch because I've already counted another Sasquatch from Site 7. That's what I'm calling a Sasquatch spirit. So I hope I start to come up with nicknames or actually get names. That'd be really cool. Well, let's go check. Oh, everyone's doing great. The area feels great. I'm very happy. I can't wait to go there tomorrow. I hope nothing happens overnight of any kind of weird nature. Hopefully people are in school and they're not causing mischief at the place or anything. And I hope when I go there tomorrow, I just feel the pleasant vibes that I'm feeling now. And if you walk in the woods or in nature at all, you know what those vibes feel like when you're connecting with them. And if you walk in places that make you feel weird, you know what that makes you feel like. The feel is real. So here we go. My Sasquatch friend, which is the most powerful spirit that lives in and/or frequents Pleasantville, aka Pandemonium. I'm just going to say it because it's real. I have a mentor and a friend. This Sasquatch spirit has a tremendous amount of power. I think it goes even a little larger than the room I'm in. The strength of it. And again, most things I feel inside myself because I just do. This thing's large and in charge and supremely balanced. And I dare say, pick any grade, doesn't even matter. Pick any grade, this thing's a couple of grades, upperclassmen, a couple of grades ahead of me. And I had this visual come to me while I was connecting with, it feels like a hymn to me. I had this visual come to me. And remember the old school Land of the Lost? If you don't, look it up. I'm not recommending the show to watch. I don't think it held up. But I used to love Land of the Lost. And I used to love Enoch. They were the slee stacks, like the lizard monsters or something. And they were mostly like animals, but that could use spears and could use bow and arrows. Yeah, so they were the slee stacks, and they were kind of like, they were kind of like the monsters. But then there was one slee stack who was called Enoch, who was very wise. And I think that's true on any plane of existence, any species, anything. You have like the cream of the crop ones, the medium level ones, the grunts, the whatever. Yeah, I think it's true on any plane of existence. You have the people who are more self-aware and know how to get along with everything around them. And you have maybe lower level ones that are looking to fight out of lack of understanding. But they respect Enoch, so I think Enoch could always back them off. So I think this is kind of true for ETs and why people have abduction experiences sometimes, because I think even if a majority of people are good, a majority of spirits are good, a majority of spirits are trying to do better, there's going to be some rough ones, some bad ones. It's just true. And I wonder if this is true. Now that we're more knowing that we're connecting with ETs and they know we know and everything, if they've learned to be more respectful. Like, I wonder if it was a growth process. And part of me wonders, I'm not a huge conspiracy theorist, but I believe there are powers at play. And part of me wonders if some or a lot of the negative experiences that people have encountered are not ETs, but actually our own people doing something to us in some way, pulling the wool over our eyes. I don't want to go down the rabbit hole with that, but we got to look at things from all angles, you know. I don't want to blame everything on the supernatural. I don't want to blame everything on ETs. Like innocent till proven guilty, right? Like when there's cattle mutilations and stuff like that. Like, did you see the UFO? Did you see them do it? Why do you think that's UFOs? I don't know all the stories. Maybe people have these answers. I understand that some people think that older Sasquatches will go after easy prey, and I'm not saying they are doing this, but people are saying, well, cattle mutilation, that's UFOs. Anybody who's saying that, well, unless you saw somebody do it, you can't say it that. You could say it's Sasquatches. You could say it's the government trying to instill fear in people, and you could say it's Dog Man. You could say, if you didn't see it, you don't know, is all I'm saying, for what it's worth. And I know I'm new to this. As I learn more, I'll be able to speak more intelligently, but I hope at least what I'm saying makes sense and are good beginner questions or good beginner thoughts. So, but this, I can't wait to go there tomorrow. This mentor friend Sasquatch like spirit he's great. He's great. I am not surprised that when I said whatever I said the first time ever, connect me with the nearest Sasquatch, or connect me with the nearest Sasquatch that wants to connect, that this is the guy. The other Sasquatch spirit I felt at Site 7 was different. I think I totally encountered him as kind and everything, but let's say he wasn't looking so much for a student or to make a friend. Cordial. Nice, cordial, but I didn't feel like he wanted to hang or anything like that. If I ever go to Site 7, I expect cordiality. Hello? I think, was he the spirit from that episode that smiled at me a little? I think he was. So, maybe more than cordiality. Maybe I'll get a wave. Even if I just feel it kind of energetically, I'll be happy. But for tomorrow, for my Sasquatch friend in Pleasantville, I'm expecting to feel this fellow, for sure. And hopefully record some things so you all, my listeners, have something too. If you listen this long, I appreciate you being curious about what I'm doing. but I think the ride becomes a lot more enjoyable for all involved if we can have some like, oh, wow, yes, the stuff he's talking about does appear to seem to be happening, does appear to seem true. Then it's a lot more than food for thought, I think. And let's find out. I want to find out. I want you all to find out. I guess I'm publicly putting myself to the test, and you gotta test your metal every once in a while. Anyway, let me go back and see if our Sasquatch friend wants to communicate anything, or if he's meditating. It was cool, let me into the meditation, and then was also like holding me to a certain way, saying, try holding your energy like this. And I never held my energy like that. It was something. So it was a really good lesson. I'm going to go back in and see if he's got any closing comments or anything he wants to share. And then we'll wrap up this episode, and I'll see you all tomorrow when I go to Pleasantville, which everyone knows is Pandemonium for now instead, and do a day scan and see what's happening. All right. Be right back. It's going to connect with our Sasquatch friend. One last time, say goodbye, wrap it up. Yeah, I have to imagine with any race of spirits, people, whatever, within any, I don't know if is race the right word, within any population, with any population of spirits, however you want to describe it, the vibe determines the tribe, I think. And so there can be many different tribes on many different vibes, and this has the sense of like a teaching, a vibe. If this guy is the strongest thing there, and there's other things there, other spirits there, other Sasquatches there, and this is the tone, it's a tone of learning, of teaching, of growing, of evolving. It's different than when I felt that the Sasquatch-like spirit in Site 7, so that you get a different vibe there, and I bet you they may all be Sasquatches, but different vibe for each different tribe. I like the vibe in this one. I like the vibe in Site 7 too, but I'm again very excited to go here. He's even in a deeper state of meditation that was not a struggle, but I had to really focus to go there, but also when I could bounce within it, very enjoyable state. And I imagine people who, or saints or divine or however, people, very happy people, they know how to balance within this state of joy, this plane of existence that just feels like joy. I guess when your vibration gets high enough, everything starts to feel like joy. At least that's the way I like to think it works. Isn't the more you know, the happier you become? Isn't that generally how it works? Unless it's information I guess you don't want. Or you're not ready for. So I'm going to wrap it up. Honestly, I'm going to go hang out with my new friend because he's got some things and it feels really well. So I'm going to hang out with my new Sasquatch friend, and then hopefully energetically feel him tomorrow. I'll see you all tomorrow for part 3 of this series on Pandemonium and what I'm calling Pleasantville. And I'm going to go there in person during the daytime. We'll see what happens. So until tomorrow, everyone, great hanging with you. Peace.